Today we have a special treat for you, a direct impingement AK. So what is this abomination right here? Well, do you know how you Americans often make ARs with piston systems, short stroke piston systems, long stroke piston systems? Well, we have a guy here in Slovenia that made an AK with a direct gas impingement system. So Uno reverse card. So what we have here is a hybrid. This is a Zastava M70 receiver. It's an AK bolt. Most of the components are still AK, but it has a different barrel and a different gas system. The long stroke piston system definitely helps with the reliability of the AK design, but it also has some drawbacks. The first one is that there is a lot of mass moving backwards and forward, which translates to a lot of recoil. And the second one is, if you ever saw a slow motion of an AK firing, you get a lot of movement of the barrel. Because of the Newton's law, you know, every action has a reaction. If you have a very large mass moving in this direction, you have the force also pushing the barrel in the other direction. So what does this hybrid bring to the table? Well, first, the bolt is lighter, so you don't have so much mass moving, which potentially means less recoil. Second thing, since it's using the same direct impingement gas system as an AR, you can have a free-floating barrel. And third, you can choose the length of the gas system and use different kind of accessories that usually would not fit on an AK rifle. But I think that's enough talking. Let's go try it out and shoot. Okay, so the first impression, I don't know what, it's really hard to describe, but it has a different feel than an AK. The recoil is not as sharp. I think the direct impingement system definitely makes a difference. Okay, the safety, the cover, this is still very hard to move. It's a part of a Zastava rifle. You can bend it outwards and all of the other things, so this is standard. But when you rack the bolt, you can feel that it's lighter. It has a different feeling because it lacks the forward piston. The shooting itself, the trigger is standard AK on this one. It's not bad. It does have recoil, but it's really hard to describe. It's more of a push than actual kick. I don't know if that translates on the video, but it feels different. So this beauty over here is still a prototype, and it's made by Slovenian company Think Arms. This is the same company that also made the Perun X16 modular rifles. They already have the patent on this system, but they're still developing the features and improving it for final production. So, as we can see here, with the gun disassembled, the basis for the rifle is the Zastava M70 receiver. I think this was the Zastava M70 AB2, which means that it had the underfolding stock, but now it has two Kudi sling attachments. It has this stock attachment for the standard AR tube, and here, instead of a normal rear side block, we have a custom barrel with a mounting over here. This is actually where the upper rail attaches. So this rail, where you can put optics and other aiming devices on, is attached directly to the beginning of the barrel. And the rest of the barrel, besides the gas tube, is completely free-floated. The custom M-LOK handguard attaches to the rifle with this part here on the receiver and with this part over here to the upper rail. So it does not affect the accuracy of the rifle. Here we have a standard AK bolt and a standard AK bolt carrier, but you can see that there is no front piston. A normal AK bolt carrier would have a long piston here. So instead of the piston, this one here has a part that interacts with this long rod that also acts as a short stroke piston and the spring. So how the system works? Here we have a standard AR gas block and a gas tube. So the gases are vented over here, travel through the tube to this short stroke piston. So this is very similar to an AR, just that in an AR the gases act on the bolt and the bolt acts like a piston. I hope you understand what I mean. In this case here, the gases act on this rod that it's like a short stroke piston. So the short action of the piston of the sorts will act directly on the bolt carrier. It will be pushed backwards, eject the empty shell casing and load a new round. I'm psychic. I already know that you're writing comments. Why is this necessary? Why even do this? Before you start, listen. Okay, like I mentioned before, this is a prototype. It's something new, and I think we should always embrace any progress that's made in firearms. We'll see if this is better or worse, but as it is now, it already promises a couple of improvements to the AK system. Lighter bolt carrier, which means less moving mass, less recoil and faster cycling. Because of the gas impingement design, we can get a true free-floated barrel and no AK barrel whip. Also, with the use of the standard AR gas block, we can get easily adjustable gas system. And last but not least, a feature that this prototype still lacks, but the system allows it, are quickly interchangeable barrels. So, what's the purpose of this AK? Well, we're not sure yet, but it shows potential. It works, it functions reliably, the system is not overcomplicated, the recoil is milder than a normal AK. So, I don't know, why not, you know? One thing that we were not able to test today is the accuracy. For an accuracy test, I think we need a stock AK for comparison, and this AK with some good optics mounted on it, because otherwise the factor of the accuracy would be me, the shooter. I hope you liked this video, and if you would like to see more about this rifle, let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, please subscribe and see you, see you soon. Fuck. Oof. Oof.